Hello, everyone. This is Becca Victoria. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, RTT practitioner, and a mindset coach. Welcome to Embodied Shift. John and I explore real change where subconscious healing meets higher guidance.
Hi everyone, I'm Jonah, an intuitive coach, and my work is about remembering who you are and trusting your inner knowing. Our question today is, why does manifestation become easier when you stop trying to control everything? For me, the best definition of manifestation is when your outer life begins to reflect your inner state.
From a clinical standpoint, manifestation isn't just thinking positive thoughts and waiting. It's about aligning your subconscious programming with your conscious desires.
That is beautiful. Manifestation is really a frequency. And so it's really about alignment. And I know I'm always faced with why is it easier for me to manifest most days? Or sometimes when the manifestation is so great, it seems like we're getting further away from it because of just there's a lot of programming that happens inside of us, our limiting beliefs, our self-worth. And so when we have all those running in the background, it's harder to be in the frequency of manifestation. And when it comes to the question of actual surrendering, I want to share a story of a manifestation that happened about my fur baby who had transitioned last year, September last year. His name is Dojo. I call him Doge. He's the love of my life. When we had to take him to the emergency, we were told that he's got brain tumor and he's already 15. And, at that state, it's not like we would want him to do testings or surgery or, to just make life more difficult for him. We were actually asked to go to the emergency right away because time is precious, so we could spend more time with him. We actually ended up having him for 6 more months. Before Dojo got sick, because we had a fur baby who also had bone cancer that passed away in 2024. And because of that situation, we weren't able to go on vacations anymore. And then when our Bella passed away, of course, we were in pain. So we were trying to just get back to our normal lives, and we haven't had a chance to vacation. Dojo, and of course Gilbert, which is our youngest fur baby. So when Dojo got diagnosed, I really wanted to have the last trip with him. I've always had that in my mind because we were fortunate enough to have a wonderful vacation when Bella was still with us after her amputation. I didn't know that it was gonna happen because, like what the vet said, he's rapidly declining. He's in different pain meds, everything you can think of for, you know, giving him meds 24/7. And on the second day, on the third day, after being in so much pain for a couple of days, I was in my meditation, and that's when I was having a conversation with God. You could call it God's horse, universe, divine. And I was really like in tears and really having this conversation, and I completely surrendered. in my energy, in my heart, in my soul, in my spirit, I really, regardless of how painful it was, I had to completely surrender because I know I cannot live in that pain for a long time because that's not just gonna affect me, but it's gonna affect on how Dojo would live for, how much longer that he has with us. And I completely surrendered. The energy got better in the house, and we had an intention to just make everything just magical. And I was fortunate enough to be able to spend every second, every minute with him, and I had an option to do that. And we were able to go on that wonderful vacation that I've always wanted us to have before he transitioned. And we had wonderful moments together before he had to, I would even say until like the last day because he even ate like all the ice cream even after the first injection that was given to him. And so when you completely surrender something to a higher power, it truly is very magical to get yourself back into alignment, especially on those difficult manifestations, because it's it's not easy when you're in grief, when you're in pain, to get back to that frequency of love, of hope, of just having that happy energy.
Wow, quite a story. So I just want to add about when we just let go of things, given when we do manifest, we, I think, based from the question, we just have to let go, right? We have to let go. And whatever it is that you manifested could be a relationship. But when you do, though, when you manifest for, let's say, ideal partner, right? And you have all this list. Oh, I want tall, kind, successful, um, with great career, funny, right? These are a beautiful list. But here's what I want to ask you guys. Who are you on that list, right?
Mhm.
Because manifestation isn't a shopping list you hand to the universe, right? Or you ask God or the divine, because manifestation is it's a mirror, right?
Mhm.
You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are.
Mhm.
So it's very important to not just say the affirmations. I think you mentioned that in the past. Just say all these affirmations, but you really have to feel it inside that this is what I want. And it's you can feel it. You can you can really see yourself in there, right?
Mhm.
By doing so, having that vision, you can feel it in your body, in every fiber of your being. And there are some instances that when I do that, I was like, oh, this is gonna become a reality. And almost always it does, which is quite amazing when that happens.
Yeah, and I also want to add because manifestations is really a frequency. It's really energy work. For me, the easiest way that I would always see evidence of my manifestations is where I am, where my state is, if I am in a happy place. So I'm constantly wanting to be aware that I am in my happy place. And I do this on a daily basis. If I'm feeling just overwhelmed or tired or frustrated, then I do certain things. Of course, I already have my practice in the morning, and we could talk about that later on, what we do to get in alignment. But the certain things like throughout my day, whether it's being very present with my fur babies and playing with them, and just sharing love, always really puts me in a good energy. Making a choice whether if I am in a situation where I was on an unkind conversations, or if things are difficult, or if I was putting fire that day, that I would always make a conscious choice to choose being happy, being more compassionate, being more kind, because those are all the frequencies that are all around us, like throughout our daily life. So constantly making that choice, like I'm feeling frustrated right now. And so I do something to shift that energy. If I'm frustrated in a situation, then I would turn that around and see whatever lessons that I need to learn, or I find a way to be more compassionate about that situation. So if there's, for me, that's a part of my surrender to not knowing all the answers, but making sure that I make choices where I'm in a frequency of love, I'm in a frequency of happiness.
Wonderful. Yeah. So before we close this episode, or whatever we call it,
Mhm.
session. So I just want to give you guys a metaphor. And so, when a lot of people would, so this is a soil metaphor. So we can plant the most beautiful seed, right? Our ideal life, our ideal partner, and in everything, this beautiful thing in our mind to have. The thing is, if the soil is toxic, right, nothing is going to grow. And perhaps the worst is, you're gonna get the seed that you try to grow, it'll be rotten. So the soul is your subconscious beliefs. Most people are focused on the seed, right? They are picking the prettiest one. They're picking the most detailed from, just looking at the seed, but nobody's checking in the soil. That's why I do this work, because we're not working on the seed. We are healing the soil. So the same thing when we do manifest, we're just not, I said it a bit earlier, that we're just not wishing. We're not just telling ourselves, oh, I want this type of person. I want this, I want to have this, I want to have this abundance,
Mhm.
right? We have to clear our inner wound. We have to heal those. So uh for us to reach or get those desires that we want.
Definitely.
So with that, thank you all so much for joining us, and we will see you guys on the next video.
And until next time, let's all shift together. Thank you so much.